4 hours to take Denmark, 5 days to conquer the Netherlands, 18 days to crush Belgium, 27 days to subjugate Poland, 6 countries swallowed up in just 4 months, one man taking on all of Europe. If Hitler was the man who made Europe tremble in fear, then Churchill was the only one with the balls to go toe-to-toe with him. A cranky old man who ate and smoked in bed, this was Winston Churchill, Britain's Prime Minister. Stubborn and hot-tempered, he was ruthlessly demanding of his typists. A single typo could send him into a rage. Even in the bathtub, he'd have his secretary outside taking dictation. Despite his explosive temper and eccentric behavior, Churchill took command as Britain's Prime Minister in 1940 during their darkest hour, leading the entire nation through its greatest crisis. May 1940. 3 million German troops pressed against Belgium's border, ready to march on every country in Europe. In Parliament, Prime Minister Chamberlain faced fierce condemnation from the opposition for his weakness and inaction. MPs had lost faith in Chamberlain and started looking for his replacement. The top choice was Foreign Secretary Halifax. But Halifax refused the job, he wanted no part of this mess. Chamberlain thought of a suitable candidate, Churchill. The king initially rejected this old man. Churchill's record from World War I had been a complete disaster. You could see the king's disgust in how he barely tolerated Churchill's hand-kissing ceremony. But with no one else available, Churchill officially became Britain's Prime Minister. In his first speech, Churchill publicly declared he would fight Hitler to the end, whatever the cost. But his passionate words fell on deaf ears among Chamberlain's appeasement faction. Europe was hanging by a thread. Belgium and the Netherlands could fall any day. France's 200,000-strong army was ready to surrender. Germany controlled the skies and the seas. In Hitler's eyes, Europe didn't have a single worthy opponent. The 300,000 British troops supporting France were retreating toward Dunkirk. Churchill couldn't stand by and watch Western Europe crumble. He personally flew to France, using his terrible French to urge them to fight back. But it proved that Europe really didn't have anyone who could fight. The French thought resistance was suicide. Back home, Churchill decided to hide the truth from the public. The British people were already terrified of the Nazis. But after Churchill's speech, everyone felt like they'd seen a ray of hope. Worth noting, Churchill saw in the newspaper that the V sign meant victory, so he made this gesture in front of the media. But Churchill did it backwards. Everyone interpreted it as Churchill giving Hitler the finger. May 25, just 15 days after Churchill took office, German forces surrounded 60 divisions of British, French, and Belgian troops. 300,000 British soldiers at Dunkirk were about to be driven into the sea. These 300,000 men were Britain's entire fighting force. That's when Halifax actually suggested negotiating with Hitler to save these 300,000 lives. This proposal sent Churchill into an absolute fury. Due to copyright restrictions, those interested can watch the film Darkest Hour.